Hi, this is Nerrissa Hsu, Executive Coach, and I am with Laura Semple today. We just had the pleasure of working together, and she is going to do a lovely testimonial today of her experience in the process of working together. And I would love to hear all about you and the impact that it's had on your life and your business. So what were you dealing with or struggling with before we started working together?
I think I was struggling with my job and the role that I needed to play, and how I made sure that I had balance between my job and my personal life and the role that I wanted to play in my personal life with my loved ones, my animals, my friends. I feel like I didn't have enough time. I feel like I lived in a little bit of a chaotic world that I now come to realize that the chaos was coming more from my thoughts and not really from what I was experiencing, but there is a way that I could manage them.
Awesome. Beautiful. And what types of other things have you tried in the past, or who have you hired in the past that didn't work or help your situation?
I think, Nerissa, one of the key things that I always felt like I begun working with someone, but I never felt like the chemistry was there to open up. One of the things that I liked about working with you was no judgment. And I think for you to be able to um, empty your bucket, you need to feel like you're with the right person and someone who is a good listener and no bias. I think what I loved about you was you kept asking the hard questions. And when I didn't give you the answer or I was lying to myself, you kept asking me the question until I had to dig deeper and really say things that I didn't want to say, that were the absolute truth. And that to me was very insightful. After we would hang up, I would think about that and really be surprised of how I kept it in the surface because I didn't want to go down that path. And by you probing and probing and probing and not being content with the first answer that I gave you, I think you allowed me to go deeper into myself to find areas that where I needed to heal.
Amazing. And you did a lot of amazing work. It was all really hard. So it's awesome. The process is very beautiful.
It kept pouring out.
It's beautiful. It's got to come out somewhere, right? And it was perfect. So
True.
And how do you feel now after working together?
You know, I feel super positive. I feel like I mean, I have the same amount of work. I have the same people around me. But I think what I do now is when I start to feel those emotions, I stop and then I get everything in order in my mind. And then I plan how I want to go about my day and how can I structure everything more nicely. I incorporate my personal pieces into the entire pie instead of prioritizing work, and whatever was left would be given to my loved ones. No, now I look at everything, and sometimes work will get less of my time because I need to make sure that I create an environment that is well balanced.
That's amazing, and that's so much different than it was before. So,
yeah, it really is.
It's coming from almost feeling like, I know the word that you used was workaholic to some degree, and just wanting a little bit more balance, like still giving 100% at work, but also including planning yourself into your life and your loved ones and the things that you want to do.
Right. And this feeling that that everything that I did was not enough on the workspace. Like it's not enough. It's not enough. And now I'm like, no, it is enough. And if you're good on all of your other aspects of life, the thinking will be a lot more crisp,
Mm-hmm.
and your ideas will be much better.
Definitely. You need that space for yourself to get that
Yeah,
creativity flowing.
I agree.
Okay.
And the actions won't come from fear, but more for a good intention. How can I do better for my client? How can I give the best to my husband, my pets, but not from I'm not doing the work, but more this is what's going to make me happy at the end if I find this balance, the balance in all these different pieces.
Amazing. I love that. And what were some of the big takeaways or the breakthroughs that you had while working together through the process?
Well, one, when we started to go through the different age brackets, I didn't realize, I always thought that I didn't have a lot of memories about my childhood. And I think when we went through it, I just feel like stuff kept coming out of me, memories that, in all honesty, it made me get to know the child and the teenager and feel a little bit of compassion for that person or for that child and for that teenager. Like I felt like a lot of more love for
For,
that and
for who?
for Laura.
Yes.
Yes,
There it
yeah,
is.
a lot more love for myself, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Awesome. And I know that you just shared some really powerful results about what's changed as a result of the work. So now what's possible after going through the process and working together?
I think it's all up to me. So um, I think it's more this idea that I'm no victim of anyone or of any circumstances. I think it's interesting because we're going through COVID, and you know how people talk about the uncertainty and all these things. And I just feel like I'm so excited about the possibilities, even with COVID in the way, that sometimes I may sound a little insensitive for others people, fears. But I'm like, no, the sky's the limit because it's up to me, really. It's up to me. And then challenges will be there because that's what life is all about. But I think the big thing is how I approach it, the attitude, the way I looked at it is what's going to make me feel good or bad on a daily basis. It's up to me how I tackle everything. Challenges will continue to come. I can't avoid those. But how I feel about them, it's completely up to me now.
That's amazing. I can hear so much potential now. And how is that different than when we first started?
Yeah. And you know what, Nerissa? I was always looking at, oh my God, I need to make this happen. And now I'm like, no, I make it into small little pieces, and I just focus on this little piece that needs to happen today. That's it. I don't think about the other pieces because tomorrow I'll think about the continuation, the other pieces that need to take place. And I think it just makes it a lot more manageable.
That's amazing. And what an impact it'll have on just life and business, just looking at, always looking for the potential and just focusing on the next step. So what would you say to somebody that is considering working with me or hosting me for a training?
That you will come out with a different perspective, a very, very optimistic perspective about life. You will focus a lot more on what you want to do than on the existing circumstances, because you will see everything that's happening to you as a way to get to that goal that you want to get to. So it makes you look at everything as, what are you learning from this experience that is preparing you for what you really want to do? And I think the other thing that I would say, Nerissa, that we always talk about how we go on this quest to know who we are. And we're like, but, we're trying to figure it out why we're here. And I do think that this exercise that I did with you allowed me to get to know myself in such a different way that I feel empowered. I feel super empowered. I feel like it's, don't mess with me.
I love that. It's super Laura.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
the rock star is back.
Rock star is back. Yeah, yeah. The Laura that I was missing, the one with the mojo.
Amazing. I love that. So, what was your favorite part of the process?
I would say my favorite part of the process was the most challenging part of the process. The one where I felt the most uncomfortable, because it felt very different from anything that I had experienced. And that was going back and really making amends with those moments in life that caused me suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to face those moments head on, heal, and move on was incredibly therapeutic. And look at them with a completely different eyes, not like poor me, no, it's like, yeah, it happened, moving on. Not giving more of my time to those moments.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, and it was the most uncomfortable moment of the entire process, but the most rewarding.
Now you're like, and that happened, and now what? So what?
I know.
So what? Now what? We're moving on.